This episode of Town Hall Heroes is brought to you by you, the viewers. Thank you so much for supporting us on patreon.com/townhallheroes. Welcome here to Town Hall Heroes. Hello everyone and welcome here to episode number 164 of Town Hall Heroes. I'm Solid Jake. We've got Duncan Bakery for the normal cast. Our guest postponed to a future week. Sad face, but at least we have guests coming soon in the future as well. Last week we had collusion as Dunkus was out, but Dunk, have you overcome your illness?
I did. I fought a battle overcoming cold or flu or I don't know what, but I was an absolute disaster last week. Couldn't do anything for like 4 days. I tried to stream on Monday and everyone made fun of my voice, so I had to turn it off early. And then I even tried to watch the episode last week, and like I was on so much cold medicine, I kept like falling asleep and napping for like 5 minutes and then being awake for 1 minute every every time I tried to watch. So that was my last week.
That's a struggle.
Interesting.
Yeah, hopefully we've overcome the robot apocalypse. Bakery, how is your robot apocalypse dealing with my Artanis and Hero League?
So, for those of you that did not know, I was streamed earlier today on my birthday. It's my birthday, by
Happy
the way, guys.
birthday!
Happy birthday,
Yay! Yeah, we could have prepared much better, I feel. We could have got the Zoya cake sound effect, you know, like...
I'm
We
sorry.
could have done some good
I
stuff.
dropped the ball.
I forgot to mention. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Anyway, happy birthday, me. Great job. But I ran into Jake while on my birthday stream. And Jake showed me some... Yeah, he showed me some things, that's for sure. Yeah. He picked Artanis, all right.
Never played
Was he
Artanis
on
and
your
Hero League
team?
before in my life. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I said this is the time stream. This is the time for me to bust out my untested Artanis. Let's go. And I'm notorious for hating playing any melee, so it went about as expected, I think.
He really impressed me, by the way. I did not know it was possible for someone to die that many times.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
So
yeah, so I've had a good week. I've started the stream, you know, as a potential future option for what I am doing next year, or at least part of what I'm doing next year. And so far, the reception's been really good. I'm up to 53 subscribers, which is super cool. I've got new sub badges. I had a new donation sound, especially for today, but you never know, it might get a new one for the future as well.
nice.
And I also my stream, they coaxed me into saying one of the reasons why I did indeed step down from the Team Dignitas team and decided not to play in phase 1, which was of course the issues that I have with pain in my joints. So there was a Reddit thread. Sadly, the Reddit thread wasn't quite well clipped to the point where it sounded like I was just saying I had carpal tunnel or something. No, it's every joint, guys. And I said this on my stream as well. I really appreciate how many people are out there trying to work out what's wrong with me, wishing me well and stuff like that. But it's actually super hard for me to even take that advice. I can't take it to a doctor. You guys don't know the whole story. So I really do appreciate everyone who is trying to help me out there, and thank you. But no need, guys. I've got specialists on it. It'll be good.
Okay, so you're saying that Reddit and Twitch chat don't know better than your doctor.
Multiple doctors, yes, correct. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's risky, I know, but I'm gonna have to take that risk, I think.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have to trust Reddit on this one. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys what I've been up to and tell them a story about chopping wood while I end the call, and Dunk's going to resume the call, hoping to end the robot apocalypse that we're currently being plagued with. So, science. Dunk, give me a call back. Meanwhile, you guys can see these great chat messages here that I'm going to hide just because, yeah, production, sometimes Skype is not our friend. Call is being resumed, and with that, we are back. Excellent. Hopefully that helps with the robot issue. So for this week, I honestly, the most interesting thing that happened to me was I decided that I would do my best at being a lumberjack. I went outside. I just told Duncan Bakery this story, and I chopped wood for the very first time. It turns out I'm actually very good at this. I found an old axe in the shed. I can cleave a large piece of walnut wood in one swing. And eventually I got to a piece of wood that had a large knot in it that became the stream boss. And ultimately that knot of wood ended up causing me to break the axe. And I felt sad about it. But I'm going to get a new axe and it's going to be okay. And I'm going to chop wood again.
A better axe.
Better axe?
A better axe.
You think so? Maybe.
I mean,
that
what
axe
was the
was
rarity
like,
of your old
that was
one,
seasoned,
dude?
though. It was.
What stats did it have on it? Like
it was
you
uncommon.
gotta.
Yeah, I mean, I think it only had like 8 strength, and that wood had like 40 armor.
Yeah.
Easy, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Not fair. Not fair.
it was pretty tough.
Are you guys practicing for our Dungeons and Dragons segment?
Yes,
Jake's
absolutely.
going to be the woodcutter.
Ooh, maybe I should be a paladin lumberjack. But that's literally Dunk's life, so I don't know if I can take that trope. Well, guys, as you can see, the show has received kind of a bit of an update, and it looks like Dunk restarting the call has fixed those issues, so yay. Bakery, is that a birthday cake?
What? Oh, sorry. So I forgot I was on stream. Yeah, no, so I was just eating my birthday cake there. It's my birthday, by the way, guys.
And everyone wish Bakery a happy birthday, and in the process, if you don't follow his stream, go to twitch.tv/bakery and follow that stream, because he started streaming this week. Looks like you've solved your issues, too, because you were initially getting a lot of really terrible frame rate issues. It was a slideshow.
Yeah, no, I saw, yeah.
Oh, did you have to do the set processor core affinity thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, have you guys all been having that issue? Is like what
Yeah.
processor do you have?
I have a very nice i7 processor. I can't remember which one right now. But it's
yeah,
like,
I also have an 8-core i7.
yeah,
too,
yeah, I'm
and I have no
overclocked
issues.
and everything.
Huh, weird.
I have to set affinity on OBS to one half of my processor cores and Heroes to the other half to solve all the frame rate stuff.
There's this Intel program that you guys can get. It's called Intel Turbo Boost Max 3.0. If you don't have that, make sure you have that, because it's all about maximizing the efficiency of your processors.
I have an i7 69000K.
Yeah, I have a 7800K, I think. But nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just throwing my wad on the table, if you will. Okay, so we've got our fancy new stream stuff with the ticker at the bottom. Yes, that means that every week you watch the show, you are subject to seeing spoilers via that ticker. And apologies if we spoiled any match you may or may not have already seen at the bottom of the screen. Some of those are incomplete because the matches are happening tomorrow or later in the week, and that's just kind of this is essentially us showing you a trial run of what we are going to bring to the table in the future, largely for HGC. So imagine it saying HGC week 1, and then you would have the NA results of that week, and you'd have the E results of that week, and that'll be a continued part of our coverage. We won't necessarily talk about every single series, but it will at least be a talking point, part of our show, and just making this more of the home of esports for Heroes of the Storm, as we've always been, as we strive to be better at, and that's just kind of a look at 2018. But Dunk, we had a show last week where you weren't actually there, and we're going to talk about sports a little bit later in the show. Not yet, because I set my next topic to Gold Club preemptively, and we're going to just segue into Gold Club. Now, today was the start of the elimination stage, and if you guys haven't been able to keep up to date with Gold Club, because it's been going on pretty much nonstop, you can see the end results of the group stage here. Now, with GCWC, this is a 2-week process for the entire tournament, and at the end of the group stage, KSV went 12-2 in games, 5-2 in series. Dig went 10-4. That means they ended up tying in one. So they went 4-2-1 with a tie in there. Ballistics, identical results, and then Fnatic. So those are the 4 teams that go to the winners bracket. And then on the lower side, you have Challenge from China, Roll20, SPT, and BTG all going to the lower bracket. Bakery, are you surprised at all by these results?
Slightly surprised by Dignitas over Ballistics. So Ballistics obviously also had a roster change. I think outside of that, not surprised. I think this is the exact order I predicted on the show, right?
Yeah, other than the Ballistics Dig thing, this is exactly what you predicted for the 8 teams coming out of group stage. So little golf clap for Bakery.
Happy birthday clap.
Yeah.
Good job, Bakery. Dunk, how about you?
Nailed it. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much in agreement with Bakery. I had hoped that the Chinese teams, of course, would do better on home soil, as I was talking about, but again, I'm not really surprised to see how it all turned out coming out of group stage, given how Clown Fiesta CN looked in the last HGC split.
I am actually quite surprised Beyond the Game didn't take a single map. That is very hard to do, statistically.
Oh my god, dude. Like, that's impressive. That hurts, too. Like, mentally, as a team, that hurts.
That's pretty much like Jake Sartanis, like personified in a team like that.
Hey, I got that one swap, right? That would have been a win.
That was a god swap, dude.
That was a god swap, right? First fight over the Punisher, god swap. Like, all right. BTG didn't get that. They didn't get a god swap. They just got straight bodied the whole game. But, okay. Well, the bracket started today with KSB Black versus Fnatic. And, I mean, spoilers, the start of the series, Fnatic opened the series with a win, right? That was game 1.
Yeah, no, they did the insane core cool. They just performed in that game 1, but from then onwards, it did not look quite so good for them.
No.
KSV showing why they are the tournament favorites, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, holding on to that title and just rolling through with that momentum, taking the win. Dignitas, much closer of a series. Very back and forth. Brought it all the way to game 5. And I have to say, I'm already so excited and impressed by the Dig roster. I mean, obviously, Bakery, it's a shame to not have you part of it. We heard your reasons as to why you have stepped away from competitive play for the time being. But I think Zalia is doing an admirable job filling your shoes.
It's difficult for me to comment, to be honest. So I like Zalia a lot as a friend. So I don't know how much that is biasing my opinion of him. But I do think he's definitely shown that he can handle the role. The one thing I am slightly concerned about is the only hero where he legitimately looks like a god and looks really comfortable is Lucio, and they keep drafting it for him. So I'm like, can he only play Lucio? Like, is he getting lucky on stage? Like, so I'm still on the fence about whether we can call him like a truly great support. Because I am biased, I don't know if I can like honestly separate my feelings. But either way, I'm really glad he's performing so well.
I mean, even the fact that he's in contention, like, you have to ask yourself, is he going to be a great support? And it looks like he might be after a couple weeks of having role swapped. Like,
yeah,
that's insane.
It's incredible.
So, yeah, I have a lot of faith.
I think that squad is, as you predicted, going to be beastly. Probably the best Western team for the first half of HGC. And, I mean, they've proven it. Ballistics did take the win in the series. That does mean that the winners finals is Korea versus Korea. And, you know, they rose up. Phase 1 of HGC 2017, Korea fell short. Europe dominated the event. And I don't know. They stepped their game up. They've put in the effort, and Ballistics and KSV Black will be duking it out in the winners finals. Do you guys know if that's a best of 5 or best of 7?
Ooh, I actually don't know.
Best of 5. Can you click it on Wikipedia?
Let's find out. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, best 5. I assume the grand finals could be 7. It shows 5. That's a little disappointing.
I mean, it could be wrong, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So first off, could be wrong. Second off, does that mean it's no winner's advantage, or
Ooh,
winner's
probably.
advantage is some other thing than map win?
I'll
I
be
don't know.
honest, that's probably hard information to find. I mean, this event, like the
Yeah.
only reliable coverage that I trust is Wikipedia to begin with.
Mhm.
Like, and even then, like, it's always tough with some tournaments, and I think the Chinese events in general tend to be. I'm sure if you have a Chinese speaking website, they're great, right? But for Westerners, it's always been a little bit tougher to find that information.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we got Challenge versus Beyond the Game and SPT versus Roll20. Both of those should just be best of fives. And God, this format's just so good. 2 best of fives, high octane, series, and then roll into the next day. Dig and Fnatic waiting for their opponents. Does anyone think Roll20 has a chance versus the new Fnatic?
Yes.
Oh,
So, okay. So I think honestly, Roll20 have a chance against any team that isn't KSV Black. In the Miracle Run, Roll20 can make finals. I'm not even kidding.
that's awesome.
Like, if you look at the level of play that they display for 90% of the game, if they get mad lucky and they literally close those games and just do it like series after series after series, they can legitimately get to finals. But I'm predicting they get smashed by Fnatic. I think that's the most likely, but
I think when you're
they are
talking about
seriously missing that last 10-20% of their game. If they were
Yeah.
not, then they are an elite team.
But that last 10-20% is what matters when you're trying to make a loser's
Exactly.
bracket run like this. Like when
Yeah.
you're playing best of fives back to back and you need to clutch out 3 out of 5, like I just don't think they have a consistency. Even if there's a chance they beat Fnatic, I think there's no chance that they beat Fnatic, Dig, and Ballistics to make it to KSB in the final. Like it's just not happening.
I
sorry.
think that chance is very low, but I
Yeah.
do think it's there. Like that is the literal miracle run, and they have the tools to do it. They're probably not gonna correctly utilize them, but that's expected, right? It's a new roster. They've got a new dynamic within the team, and they come from an already weaker region, so it makes perfect sense. But I'm like 35% they can beat Fnatic, and then beating Dig, I'm like 15-20%, and then beating Ballistics after those two is like 5%. Like
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
there's a chance.
Good.
Interesting.
I do favor them over SPT, however, but
Yeah.
Yes, me too. I mean, I also think it's just as likely they lose to SPT that as beat Fnatic.
huh. And that's just
You're
the
saying- Okay, I see what you're saying.
the RNG and the instability of a new squad, basically, right? Like
Yeah.
how well are they performing? How well is everything clicking? Regardless, though, I honestly feel this whole event is going to be a good experience to level them up for the new season, right? Everybody's scrimming in the PTR, which in one way you can look at as an advantage. It's a newer patch that all the other teams are currently playing on, while all the teams that are playing in GCWC are actually on an older patch. But that brings us to our next topic of Golf Club, of updating the tournament halfway through to the support changes.
Okay, so we have to assume there were some other factors going into this decision, right?
You can assume all you want, but the fact of the matter is 90% of all events you ever play in have a patch designated that you practice, you approach, and you compete. And this is just, I assume, a curveball for all the teams. Now, we don't have official word from any players or anything confirming this, but as far as we can tell, this is new information for those players because it's new information for everyone else.
Yeah. That's devastating, I think. Like, changing patches in the middle of a tournament is pretty ridiculous. My guess is there was just no alternative that was even logistically possible, or they wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, so I have to agree with Dunk here. Like, so we do know that China does not have access to the tournament realm. maybe they have access to PTR. That doesn't really fix our issue because PTR is a legitimate patch right now. Like, usually the standard protocol, and it has happened in the past, is our tournament servers are crashing. Let's get like that patch on PTR. We can play on there. That's happened before, and that is something that has been used. But yeah, like that can't happen right now because they are testing a Hanzo patch. So it has to be their tournament server didn't work. They have to play live because no tournament server in China. Like, no online tournament server in China. I hope. I seriously hope. Because if it's any other reason, I am very disappointed in the production for the Chinese event and also just Blizzard.
Yeah, because this is honestly the biggest event that is not part of HGC in the entire year, right? By a long shot in terms of the talent that's competing, the dollars enabled, and just the prestige of it. And, you know, it just really sucks for the event to have this blemish of, hey, we're changing events, because technically one team could, for whatever reason, just adapt quicker and figure out the new meta when a new patch hits or whatever. Now, this is what, Sergeant Hammer and support changes, correct? That's the only changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you expect those changes to be a super meaningful deal here end of the day, right? I mean, the support changes are big, that's for sure, but that affects everyone across the board, and it's not something like adding a new hero in, right? I mean, yes, there are things you have to adapt to. You have to, you know, twist your draft a little bit, lane clear. You can't grab Malfurion as reliably, say, Entomb the Spider Queen for Moonburn. You have to, you know, Celestial Alignment definitely isn't the same kind of power. But is Hammer really going to be a relevant factor here?
Absolutely not. Hammer's irrelevant. The Zul'jin nerfs, I think, are basically irrelevant. No one was picking Zul'jin before the changes in competitive anyway. The Sonya change is marginal, so it's Poison Spear nerf. Like, it's meaningful, but it's not devastating.
It doesn't kill her, right?
Yeah. But the support changes really do change the dynamic of the game, I think, quite a bit.
Mostly in the double support meta, or in which way?
I think the double support is a lot more vulnerable to well-executed strategies after the nerfs, and we'll likely start seeing that have an impact as the playoffs progress.
Yeah, the lack of wave clear with double supports right now is the biggest issue. Like, outside of wave clear, the damage and healing hasn't affected solo support more than double support, as far as I can see. So we're purely looking at, can they build a comp that survives the laning phase with double support? And if they can, it seems they're still picking it.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs that happened last night were all on the update, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's all the playoffs, and there's still double support really running rampant. But that also might be not a lot of time to adapt yet, potentially.
I mean, yeah, there's been very little time to adapt. We can actually pull up the browser again and just take a look at some of the drafts we had for the compositions. Where do we have double support exactly? So in this series,
so Kazim Lucio game 1 against the Veigar solo. There was Monk solo against Veigar Tassadar, which
Tassadar doesn't. I mean, it's kind of there. Taz Lucio. Karazim solo. I'm actually surprised to see as much of that as we have.
It doesn't seem to be too bad. It was worse in the Fnatic series, I would say.
Yeah, the Fnatic series, almost every game is double support on both sides, which is really interesting, actually. Looking at it, I didn't realize there was such a difference. I just remembered a lot of double support, but looking at it, it's all Fnatic and KSV running double support, and then Ballistics and Dig both running solo support, except some Tassadars.
So, I mean, it's interesting, though, because, like, even if you look at Hero League, and again, we're not talking about GM here, but one thing that I see as a really strong combo is Ana and Karazim, and that's what we're seeing a fair bit of here. At least twice we see Ana Karazim. It's a very fair amount of damage applied, and again, this is still Iron Fist Karazim at the end of the day. Going to be there for a lot of damage, but also just the additional support for the team. But we're seeing Karazim Brightwing. Honestly, this is it is a lot of double support, but it's still a different kind of double support, whereas we're not seeing like the Rhaegar Lucio getting away with some of these drafts, and Ariel mixed with another main support in a lot of these drafts. So
I mean,
I did see that
Ariel
once.
Lucio.
yeah, okay. I'm not saying it's gone, but it's I mean, yeah, there it is in game 4. But it's a step in the right direction, I think, overall with the support changes. Dunk, since we haven't really get to hear your actual thoughts on it outside of that beautiful graphic that we had last week that ends with the word "the." It's been a week now since the support changes have come in. How big does it change the dynamic for Hero League, the average player? Just the average game.
The biggest change I would say for Hero League is I'm still seeing a lot of double support at my level of play, but I'm seeing a lot more dive comps and reset comps actually taking advantage of the more fragile backliners. Like I've seen Genji and Li Ming more times than I can count over the past few days. And also like a Nubrak has kind of snuck back in the meta to enable more dive. Karazim has actually made his way more into Hero League, whereas before, not too many people were picking him in Hero League, even though he's very viable and competitive, just because it seems like focusing down a support, even against double support, is much more viable now than it was before.
Bakery, do you have similar opinions of the support changes and similar experiences?
I agree with Dunk. Like that assessment, I think is definitely on point. It feels like supports are dying a lot more, and I think that's because the kinds of double supports we're seeing are changing. Like, first off, cleanse isn't on their main heroes right now, which means if Rhaegar's like hasn't got cleanse, then either Rhaegar's a really vulnerable target or one of the other supports is. So we're seeing, let's say, Karazim with 7-sided paired with a Rhaegar. Rhaegar is then a severe vulnerability to that team comp where he does not have a healing ult to save him. So okay, maybe we're seeing Brightwing. Brightwing's going phase shift build. It's used the solo support. So again, it seems much easier to it seems much easier to burst one of those members down. Like I think the way the game is playing, like a serious lack of burst prevention tools right now in most comps. Like if you try and draft a team comp with double support that has wave clear, damage, and saving tools, it's not really happening if you're drafting against a competent opponent, it seems.
Yeah.
And, I think one of the points that the devs made in their comments regarding support changes and double supports is one thing they want is more meaningful saving abilities like cleanse that aren't necessarily big heals, right? They want supports that have amazing utility for those meaningful moments that feel good and feel powerful in a different way other than overwhelming healing that keeps everyone topped off. But cleanse has been, over the last year, they've just been purging it out of the game. It's almost extinct. I mean, Mouth doesn't have it. Brightwing pretty much can't pick it because phase shift build is the style to play when you draft her. Honestly, I don't think either builds are really good. The bribe style, I don't like it. Lily has it on an iteration of it, and Lucio gets a late game. But is there an intermittent, like, do you guys have an idea of a way to correct that right now, right? Or do you just have to just keep drafting double support because the lack thereof cleanse when there's that much dive? I mean, cleanse is going to be a very necessary part of peeling in those kind of moments.
I think like you can adjust and try to play the solo support ultra blow up style. Like a Karazim or an Uther are themselves not particularly vulnerable, and you can just try to fast fight and execute on the opponent. Like I'm seeing a lot of matchups where it's like one team clearly becomes the aggressor in team fights because they're running a fast fight composition, and the other team has the more like last patch-esque double support. And the fights basically come down to, does the team with the solo support execute on the insta-gib when they initiate, yes or no? And that decides the team fight. And for that, you use like a Brightwing or a Karazim or an Uther to get that front-loaded
burst
utility or burst heal, and actually kill a target.
Fights have been really boring on my stream, and I wasn't sure if it was just getting bad quality games because I haven't played enough on my EU or NA accounts to actually rank them up to GM.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sure if I was just getting low quality games, but every single fight and every single game either felt like we were in complete control and we basically had to not mess up and we won the game, or it felt like the enemy was in complete control and it just felt super aggressive. I hadn't put much thought into why, but what Dunk's saying about one team having the tools to execute and the others playing defensive and like hoping they don't execute, I think that might actually be what's happening, and I'm not enjoying it right now.
I've been noticing a lot of that on my stream as well. I really wish I should have started taking actual data, like actually writing down like how one-sided I felt games were on average. Because of course from like meta to meta and patch to patch that goes up and down, like what percentage of your games feel really one-sided. Like I know I want to say like Diva patch, I felt like a lot of the games were not super one-sided. With Malthael and Genji permaband, those games felt not too one-sided, but then I feel like lately over the past couple months I've been creeping towards like a larger and larger percentage being really one-sided, and this last few days especially have felt that way. But I don't have the actual data to know if that's just a gut feeling or like actually backed up by evidence.
I mean, even my Hero League games, I'd say 70% of them are 3-level lead games. I had a 5-level lead game today, like you know, in Hero League, and it's that's insane, right? I mean, that's honestly, it shouldn't happen. But at the same time, yesterday I had a game that went 40 minutes. Obviously, that's a well-matched game. But they're rare. They definitely are rare games. So maybe that is just people getting used to the changes, or
possible.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think, especially when the Hanzo and game reworks come in next week, like
it's gonna be.
I think our games are gonna get way weirder before they get better.
Well. So they might get weird like very quickly and then get good very quickly because the meta might change like a hell of a lot into something else. But we definitely are gonna need, so myself and Dunk, we have great insight, but we're not currently playing with the best people in the world, and we're not speaking to them actively as far as I know. We don't know what they do right now. So we're going to need pro players when this patch hits to like hopefully have a meta in mind they can help set in Hero League, and then everybody can just very quickly move to that. At least that's what I'm hoping for, because they've been scrimming on this patch. I'm really hoping they've been actually playing well on this patch and they actually are narrowing down like what they need to do.
It was really fun talking to Collusion last week because, you know, it's always fun to ask about all the different changes. And overall, Dunk, I don't know if you caught the VOD, but he actually said from the PTR scrims they've been doing, overall, he's not a fan. He said less than 5 out of 10 if he had to rate it for his overall impressions of things like the laning change. And then we asked about the stealth changes and if they had affected any of the heroes, and he basically just said Valeera is the only one that is relevant, and that's because with supports getting nerfed and losing all these tools and utility, that silence is just super impactful. And that's the one bit of glimpse that we've had here on the show, at least, of what the pro meta might be evolving to be a little bit more like. And naturally we'll be looking to grab people like maybe Michael Udall, or maybe we'll get Caffeine or someone on in the next week or two, ideally 1 or 2 more people before the year ends, but it's going to change a lot next week for sure. But next week is officially, I believe, the time when we will finally get that patch, which will include the gameplay changes. So that's everything from camera to landing to globes to Hanzo to Christmas skins. Bakery, what Christmas skin are you most excited for?
I actually really enjoy the Malthael one, but I'm gonna have to say Malthaelian. Just because it's a really well-made skin. It looks like a whole new face model and stuff. It's super cool. Are you on PTR, Jake? Can you find it?
I'll get there.
I like the Vola skin. I think the custom effects for our abilities are so good on the Vola skin.
Dude, they're so good. They're both. Those are the two. Those are the two. All the other skins can go away, because, like, you know, Malthael. Who likes Malthael? I don't. See, Dunk doesn't. Baker, do you like Malthael? Just say no. Just say no.
I don't like playing him. He feels clunky, but I like his inclusion in the game. Like,
So
if
thematically, but you don't like him.
I don't like playing him. No, he
Good,
feels
good.
really bad to me.
See, yeah. If you
Same.
like Malthael, you're just wrong. That's basically what we've learned here.
Whoa.
And I'm loading this up. I don't remember how to get to the skins. If anybody wants to join the Solid Jake channel and type in the text needed to get to the new heroes, that'd be cool.
Are they not just on display now?
Maybe they are. I haven't logged into the news patch. I don't
think
they're not.
so.
But there is a way to see them.
Aw.
Yeah, you have to like type in the command.
The like Battle.net, yeah.
Yeah.
They got the Hanzo bundle on sale though. That's new. That's cool. Ooh, Blood Elf Hanzo, Far Strider.
I really like the Farsighter skin, but I have got to say, like, a lot of my viewers are raising concerns about this. The fact that he has gem-only skins it is just not okay when he only releases with one skin.
These are all gem only.
I am not 100% sure, but that's what I was told on the stream.
That's not. Yeah, that's not cool. That's pretty lame, actually.
So there's no alternative skins that are shard craftable, basically.
I mean, can you see if you can check, Jake? If you go to Hanzo's hero page or something, maybe?
Yeah, we'll try.
What if it says?
So you can craft this one, the Oni, and you can craft that. You cannot craft any of the themed ones, though. These are all going to be purchase only.
Okay, so just to confirm, this isn't 100%, but it's looking likely like his only other skin is gem only.
Yeah.
And I do know my viewers were definitely not happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get my money, and I'm going to encourage them to do that more, and I feel bad about that, but that's okay. So it's themed? Oh, it's okay. Oh, that looks nice.
Wait, the Q looks really nice, I think.
Yeah, that gradient. Oh, that is a nice color palette. W also has a similar look. And E. Guys,
Wait,
I need
check the Dragon Strike. Check the Dragon Strike. And I guess the other one as well. Sure.
Yeah, the other one's definitely not as cool, but if this better look cool. It's a phoenix. It's a phoenix. Yeah, it's got a bird.
Yeah, it's like a phoenix.
Oh,
yeah.
that model is super cool, but the color, it's still blue. At least it's got like flames and
yeah,
stuff.
no, that's definitely value. You kidding me? That is so worth.
Yeah, no, okay. I was unsure at first, but that's
once I
pretty
realized it was the phoenix. That's pretty legit. All right, and last but not least, yeah.
So it looks like his Q does.
Value skin. So yes,
It's a shame it's gem only.
Well, it is what it is. As long as that's like always available, you know. If it's something that's like only available for purchase when he first comes out, I think that's pretty lame. But it's always available for purchase with gems. You know, you just don't want it to be rare. I think that's just a shame. If you were to join the game as an Overwatch fan, and you're a Hanzo main, and you're that cool of a guy, and then you want to buy a cool Sunstrider skin, well, you should have access to it. But yeah, Hanzo did receive a few buffs on the PTR. I think everyone we talked to basically was saying he felt like he's just weak and bad. So they just gave him some number tweaks just like, what, Monday? So it's only been 2 days since then. I don't think any of us have played him since then because the PTR, let's face it, after week 1, that it is dead. You don't touch it again. And we'll see how he feels when he comes out on live. We'll definitely talk more about Hanzo when he's out and official. Next week. But beyond that, any other thoughts regarding the support changes?
That it was definitely overreacting.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. Yeah, I honestly like these are the kind of changes where I feel like if they had put them out without patch notes and without anyone knowing it was patched, it would have taken people a while to notice, honestly. Like you will notice some situations you feel a little bit worse, but it's just it wasn't the end of the universe, you know? Like a lot of people were saying.
Yeah.
So Twitch chat is brilliant and genius, and also Scud Marks, thank you for the name and for linking the Winter's Helper Vala here. Apparently, you can just go to the search bar and hit space. I forgot that was I didn't know that worked for the holiday skins, but we can see them all here. All right, we're gonna make everyone pick not only their favorite skin but their favorite tint. Bakery, you said Malfurion. We're gonna have to look through them. So we've got classic Santa Malfurion.
It's the classic Santa Mafia.
Okay.
I'm very vanilla about that kind of thing.
Want to look at the other ones.
But look at the model, dude.
Oh, I
Look
see
at his
it.
eyebrows and stuff. He's entirely new face. He's got a new beard. Like he's even got real feet.
He does have a nice beard.
His beard is real good.
You are an expert. You can officially certify that he's got a nice beard.
And of course, the other bonus of buying this skin is you have to pick Ventral Roots every game because he makes Christmas trees. Aren't you excited to
Wait? Does Twilight Dream look different?
Let's find out. I doubt it.
No, it doesn't.
There's got some.
There's like some little
lights. Yeah.
some Christmas
Oh, there's some nice particles. But
yeah.
Yeah, it looks mostly the same.
All right, let's there you go. It's got like holly on the edges, and it puts a big bell over his head when you first start the ability.
Okay, well, you know that's cool and all, but it's tranquility. So wait, why is it canceling, Jake?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Did
Is it canceling super early?
It looked like it. Did they reduce the cooldown?
Okay, I think it must be a bug.
Probably.
Yeah, probably a tri-mode thing.
Maybe.
Having to do with reduced cooldowns, if I had to guess.
When I take damage, no, maybe not. Who knows? Who cares? He looks fabulous. Okay. We're not bug squashing. We're looking at pretty skins. Dunk, you said Vala is your skin of choice. We've got this classic Winter Helper's Vala with the green and the red. We've got at least a few others, right? There's got to be more. We're in the nether, man.
Oh, there they are. There they are. Up. There you go.
Oh, okay.
The bottom row here.
Teal, black and red, blue.
Wait, the black and red one is dope.
The coal one is amazing.
Is this your pick, Dunk?
I think this would be my pick.
You like your goth girls?
Absolutely. Not even a question. Snap crafting that the day it comes out.
Would you stroke her hat?
You what?
Making it weird, and that's what I do best. Yeah, no, it's definitely a cool skin. I actually hadn't looked at this one closely with the scarf and that crazy hat, like the elf hat. It's cool. And if you guys haven't seen the animations for this one, I think they've done a really good job this year with the Christmas skins in particular. Like the Halloween skins are cool. I mainly only like the Gray Man one personally. Christmas is definitely a bigger holiday internationally, I feel. And just like the lights that come out. I
like the vault animation.
The vault effect is super cool.
I really like the vault.
This is your favorite one?
You'll flame.
I thought the color palette was... I thought it should have been like more festive than that. I mean, it looks cool, but I wish the color palette was a little bit more in line with that. Colorful. I want her to be dancing around like a Christmas fairy.
Well, yeah, maybe it's dark.
Are you saying goth people can't like Christmas too, Jake?
I am.
Wow.
He's discriminating against goth Christmas. Wait, they change colors as they bounce.
Wait, really?
The cues.
Oh my god, you're right. The lights change. That's actually so cool. And of course, you got to look at Rain of Vengeance, just a must, because it drops snowman parts. Like, that is so cool. The strafe looks cool too, but I think the winner goes to Rain of Vengeance. Plus, it's the relevant talent of the two.
They're both fine.
They're both okay.
Rain's better, but
On average, yeah.
Which one's your favorite, Jake?
I think I'm boring, and I just like the vanilla Vala personally. I like the blue hair a lot. I just think it's a really cool skin, but it is actually really close with the mouth and the Vala. The reskins of the other heroes, like we have like a green gingerbread man now. Like, yay, great, more nightmare fuel for the rest of the world. But yeah, good stuff, and there's lots of cool sprays and. Can you look at the banners? No, there's no new banner. Oh, you can't see the sprays. Oh, the gingerbread men are actually fantastic. Wow.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at the sprays before.
These are great.
That's nice.
There's a lot of nice animated ones. Yep, that's my jam right here. This row. Oh, the Rhaegar. Oh, the tree. Yeah.
Oh, the tree one's good.
It's really good.
Honestly, it's a real shame that sprays aren't used more in Nuts. And the Cuphead ones. Oh.
Yeah, they're really great.
They made sprays a lot bigger on PTR. Have you guys seen how big they are now?
I didn't notice.
They're like huge. Is Jake going to test that out first?
I am. Actually, I don't think.
Are they bigger in tri mode as well?
I don't know if you can spray in.
I'm just gonna make a custom.
I'm just waiting for the camera changes, man. I want the camera so bad.
The camera changes are super cool.
I think it's gonna be the biggest quality of life upgrade. Wait. Is it not gonna let me use it? I definitely got Wintervale. I just bought one.
I thought you just bought an old time.
Are you sure it's called Winter?
Oh. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
I don't know why it's grayed out, but it totally will let me use it. I don't know, is it in the list? If you type in the name of the event, so Halloween or Wintervale is what they call it in Heroes and Hearthstone and Warcraft, you can just type in Winter. All right, we're just gonna see if the sprays are different. I don't know if it actually doesn't make sense to use a new spray to test it, see if it's bigger than old ones, but I guess they all have a generic size. That does seem bigger. It's
huge.
Yeah.
It's like as big as Hammer now.
Yeah.
and remember, you are further zoomed out. So
That's
how
true.
big
So
it
it's
got
even...
on the field is huge.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. I think they deserve, all the real estate Blizzard wants to give them, because there's a lot of effort that goes into making those. There's so many awesome sprays, and they should be used more. And they should stand out in your face, right?
Banners got so awesome now that you can have your name next to them. I have to say,
it's great. It makes it feel meaningful and not confusing. Like, why is there a Tracer banner in my game when Diablo captured the Merc camp, right? Like, But cool. So we talked about the new holiday skins. We talked about supports, and we talked about Hanzo and Hammer. Hammer's better, right, Dunk? We talked about her last week a little bit, but
what?
Is Hammer better or worse?
I don't think so. I think she's way worse.
You think she's worse?
Let me be honest. I haven't seen anyone playing Hammer except the one person who plays Hammer, and even they stopped playing Hammer.
Okay, well, you clearly have not run Medic Hammer, Dunk. Would you like some help with that after Town Hall?
Ooh.
I mean, I'm willing to believe the Medic Hammer is busted. Like, you just siege up and pop armor.
Would you like to play a Team League on rank to a quick match and literally end the game in 9 minutes? Max. Minimum 6.
Oh, Oh, is that fun?
No, it's not fun for anybody involved.
Monkey
Are you saying it's
ass.
busted?
Yes.
Is there
Outside
any-
of that, she does seem quite weak.
Is there like a specific build you think that enables that, or doesn't matter what you pick, or?
I don't think it matters, honestly. I think you just need to make sure that you can get the 50 armor and Medic can press her 25 armor. You end up with 60 or 75% resistant,
Mm-hmm.
and you win every single trade. And then when you don't have cooldowns, you can just stay away. And since it's not coordinated play, like in pro play, this isn't going to work because people are going to go at like as 4 engage on you. They're going to actually pick stuff like the hacker. But in match made play, people do not have the coordination to actually effectively counter that setup.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm glad I haven't experienced that yet, honestly. But yeah, I mean, Hammer is. I'm sure she'll get tweaks. I mean, I'm glad they gave her a new ability. I think that's good for her. But the rework obviously may or may not have given her the benefits if it wants to do. This Lunar portrait scares me. I'm just gonna be honest. But this one, oh yeah, give me that. Got him. So. Supports have been discussed. GCWC has been discussed. I think the only topic we have left for tonight is actually viewer questions. And for you guys to get those in, hop over to the Discord. You can type ! Discord in the channel, and we're going to be taking some questions from our TownHall Heroes channel on the Discord. First question, how do the support changes affect Ana, if at all?
I assume this is going to me.
Yeah, we'll send this one to you.
Sure.
Since you're
So
Ana
actually,
only player.
I think that kind of true. The changes actually didn't impact Ana that much. I think actually, it made her a little worse in the sense that I think double support is a little worse overall. But her wave clear already was non-existent. Her healing throughput, the change does not feel very meaningful, and she already had such low health that you were dead if someone got in melee range. So all the things you were already bad at, they tried to make the other supports a little worse at, and as far as I can tell, Ana feels pretty much the same as before.
It's a fair assessment.
I think she suffers a little bit from the shift in the meta that I was talking about with the Li Ming Genji stuff. Like, both of those heroes are really hard to deal with
And the resets,
as Ana, and like, yeah. So she suffers a little bit in that avenue, but
She's still
individually,
gonna
I don't
be-
feel like she lost power.
She's still going to be very double support oriented, though, with her W, right?
Yep.
all the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't heal yourself. It feels, I mean, you just still need the double support as much as before.
Yeah. Her in particular, her and Alex feel like they just are requiring it. Bakery, I'm going to send you this one. How would you nerf Garrosh? Highest banned hero in Hero League. And to further the question, it says, is there a way to nerf him without reworking his base kit?
I don't think he needs nerfs. Like, I feel like we have the Genji problem all over again, where he's just exceedingly frustrating to the point where everyone has universally agreed, let's just not play against this hero.
Yeah.
He gets banned out all the time. I think the classic example of this, if we're looking at other MOBAs, is going to be Kassadin from Season 3, Season 4 League of Legends. The hero had something like a 97% ban rate for months on end. He was banned every single game, and when he went through, he had like a 30% win rate on average. Like, because nobody knew how to play the hero because he was banned every game. This is slightly harder to do in HOTS because we only have one opening ban, but I'm really hoping we get a second opening ban soon so that we can actually ban out Garrosh every game and ban out another hero so we can actually have fun.
But I think the difference is Genji was legitimately overtuned, very overtuned even.
Yes.
And Garrosh really isn't
His kit
super
is just,
overtuned.
it's just,
He just feels
kinda-
oppressive.
and honestly, and there was a stage in Heroes where people felt that way about Stitches in the early days of Stitches because
and he got a talent rework where he had to then choose between slam build and hook build. Then his slam talent got reworked, and then his hook got nerfed. Then he was a fine hero. Then he got nerfed again for lots of really no reasons at all. Then he fell out of the meta. Then he came back. Then he fell out again. But when he was oppressive, he legitimately did receive a small kit rework to change the things that were oppressive. So I think that's what you have to do for Garrosh as well. You just need to leave him how he is. Hope the community knows what's best for them, bans them out, add a second ban. Thank you, Blizzard.
Would you change Garrosh at all to make him feel less oppressive to play against? Would you change his kit, or would you just leave it and say, look, learn how to play against it, scrubs?
When I got round to it for a rework, I would definitely change it. I would make it so that when you queue someone, you cannot flip. Like, queuing someone and pulling them with the queue adds a debuff for, let's say, 4 seconds where they cannot be flipped.
4 seconds? That's a lifetime.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to do that combo. You're supposed to actually control the team fight. I think if he didn't rely on his combo, you could buff him enough to be a real tank.
I think it's actually more frustrating to just have a Garrosh walking at you on his mount or whatever, and knowing that you can't do anything, he's gonna fling you back. That's, I think,
you can dismount him, and then you can see him like.
It's still like an oh crap moment though. You're puckered and you're running.
But that's still like Garrosh is scary. I don't feel that's like there's literally nothing I can do, because even if I dismount him when he gets in range of me, he's going to be in Q range. If I dodge the Q, I'm going to get flipped. Like, the kit literally does not play well. So unless we're talking replacing an ability, I do not know how else to make that kit anywhere close to fun to play with.
Yeah. I don't think preventing you from comboing inside your own kit, though, would make sense. Like, it would feel really wrong.
I mean, it feels wrong because that's how we know Garrosh. But if we know Garrosh as he has to get melee range to flip, and his Q is pull them in and then body block rather than pull them in and then flip, I feel like it could feel fine.
Interesting. That was a good question, actually. Thank you for the. I think that came from Draconi.
Draconi, the best question asker.
And Joe's life was from the earlier question. If you guys see one you want to hop onto, let me know. Seems like Hanzo's Dragon Arrow seems like an amazing initiator from watching SEL streams. The Dragon Arrow into Lucio speed boost Horrify. It looked clean. That's interesting. I guess we'll see. I mean, it's definitely not a damaging ult. It's like it's a long range engage from Hanzo for sure. That's what that ability is. I think the hard part about that, from just thematically thinking about it, sure, you can engage with it. Yes, ETC or someone could follow it up. It makes me think of that Earth Shatter heard from around the world in Dota, where it's like, you know, a super long range cast ability followed up with another ult. Like, so I don't even play Dota. I don't know the abilities, but I remember that just feeling like an amazing moment. And I think about Hanzo's Dragon Arrow being an ability that kind of could enable a similar kind of play, where there's a really epic global part of that fight with Hanzo. The thing is like, that's really going to be good for picks of maybe 1 or 2 people probably. Because until level 20, Hanzo can't be part of that action, right? There's no way for him to TP there until level 20. So for a full-on like team fight, if he's using that, he needs to be at a X distance to get the full value of the ability. Or, I mean, the stun doesn't change based on distance, right? It's just the damage?
No, it does.
Oh, it does.
I'm pretty sure the stun scales up.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
From like 0.5 seconds to 2 seconds, I want to say, a max arrow.
Which is
I think stage. So, yeah.
But yeah, this effect is super powerful. I don't think anyone's arguing that. Like, whether it'll fit into the meta or not, we don't know for sure. But this same heroic was an ultimate on a League of Legends character, and it basically like defined the meta for an entire season. Yeah,
Yeah.
like there was a team that.
Here's the thing, though. You have to look at the scale of their maps, right? And on average, a lot of maps in Heroes don't have that same scale where it can be as meaningful. So, or am I incorrect in saying that in your opinion?
No, I definitely see what you're saying as far as the scale of the maps, but it was more so used as like a mid-range initiation than like a true global, which is where it really shines, I think, is like you use it at range, yes, but still within range that your whole team can follow up, and it's guaranteed follow up. And like the lead CC is really hard to deal with because your team's not on their screen when it starts. So like, I definitely expect to see if Hanzo is viable, it's going to be on the back of that heroic, not on the derpy AoE dragon damage.
Yeah,
the derpy. we were talking about this last week actually, Dan. Like that ultimate just feels absolutely terrible.
Awful.
Like the delay is huge. The damage is not even significant, honestly. Like if a Valor literally just goes, gonna stand in it. I'm gonna run through the dragon. She doesn't even die. She gets like 30% maybe. Like
yeah.
It really feels awful.
You need a god setup. It's a wombo ult, right? You need a mosh with
but
the
it
dragon.
doesn't even have payoff. That's the problem.
It's like a ravenous spirit that's off its leash, right?
But you're better to do that wombo to like auto attack twice, shoot a W, shoot a Q, walk back so you get the first proc of your ult, and then shoot and get a 1.5 second stun. Than you are to actually dragon static on that.
Not arguing for the dragon ult.
I think they had to include it, but I just don't think it's a good. It's just not good for a MOBA. Like in an FPS, like you have a lot more corridors, I guess, and it actually can kill anyone who just stands in it.
It's like way more accessible in terms of the timing of it, and
I think the way to make it feel good to me would literally be to make the radius huge, like to make the dragons actually huge and like fill up an entire Heroes of the Storm corridor. Then I think it would feel good.
Yeah,
and it might be oppressive is the issue gonna have. Like imagine running through like into hard camp on Tomb, like Dragon's Light comes down and oh no, like we're dead. Like
I mean you could definitely like reduce the damage a bit, but make it like guaranteed area, like so it's impossible to dodge the side effect.
So it's a lava wave, or
I mean basically right now it's nothing.
Maybe like in between Dragon Strike and Lava Wave is where I'm imagining.
Okay. Well, who knows? The other ult definitely does sound interesting for the follow, so I just can imagine the play of, you've got Avala in bottom lane or whatever hero. The arrow comes flying from mid lane as the Haka brush stalkers, and then it's stun, drag, and then kill on the target or whatever. Those plays will be really fun and exciting and hard to deal with if that ends up being a prominent part of the meta. What do I want to see happen to Open Division? I think for me, I mean, since I produced Open Division this year for the NA scene, I think just kind of further streamlining it with the pro scene and helping it really truly feel like it is part of the pro scene up before the Crucible is part of that. Oftentimes, I think in 2017, something that they fixed throughout the year was there was a tournament realm that was only used by the pro scene. So although the pro scene was playing on a patch, maybe 2 weeks old or whatever, the Open Division scene would be playing on the current live patch, and I think that felt really bad. And that's something that they slowly kind of fixed, but it should be 100% consistent with the exact rules that exist in the pro scene, because it should be treated identically. There were also some disparities in Open Division this past year. Ghost of Gamers actually wrote the rule set as far as I understand it, and then Blizzard approved them. The rule sets were not identical regarding the way that subs and a few other, some compositional issues and a few other rulings were not identical. And again, I think that is a problem, and that should be resolved for next year. But beyond that, I don't really know what other big changes that there could be made. Maybe Pro Scene can promote Open Division and like some of the standings and stuff, and kind of draw some attention to it, and just kind of say, or maybe highlight a player once in a rare while. Like
I wouldn't touch on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to give a few examples, like guys like Cura and Lutano were really talented. We knew they were really talented when we were casting their games in Open Division. And I would have loved to see those guys kind of get a spotlight or an interview or something as part of the HGC Pro League broadcast. I think it's a fairly simple thing to do. And again, it gives a lot more story to these up-and-coming players that have made their way into the Pro League.
So here's an idea. Now, you put, let's say, $200 down. You have your HGC video editor who does the play-by-play videos. He gets an extra video once a month, like once every 2 weeks, whenever. Doesn't even need to be regular. It can be a one-off thing that you do a few times across the year. You get $200. You give $100 to one player from HGC and one player from Open Vision, and they literally just play quick match together, like streaming their webcams to the HGC, streaming their game to the HGC, giving replays and stuff like that, and just play for 2 hours. And then you make a video, you make a highlight, you get to introduce the player. They are brought up by the fact you had a HGC guy. The HGC guy benefits because there's more content about him and he's doing stuff. Mm-hmm. People getting to know him. The Open Division guy and his whole team benefit. And you can do that just a few times a year. Like the teams that no one knows about, like Poyok. Poyok is a fantastic personality who we have known is a top 8 level player since Valencia. In Valencia, people were saying, who's going to pick up Poyok? Because this guy is very clearly like the next Xalia. Way back then, Xalia was a ranged assassin. Everyone knew he should have been on one of the top 3 teams. And everybody wanted to sign him, but everyone was locked to BlizzCon. So he ended up getting, I think, 5th and 5th in those 2 tournaments, and the top 4 teams were looking at him. Poyok was the next one. He joined Team Liquid to try and qualify for HGC. Team Liquid obviously completely exploded, and then he teamed up with Zealots, dominated the Open Vision, came into HGC, ended up coming 3rd in the HGC. We've known this guy was a star for so long, and he has a personality that you can build upon, and he is a player that has storylines. Mm-hmm. We could have been building him up way back then at the start of last year's Open Division. He could now be a big personality for the scene, but nobody even knows about him. His thread, where some posted on Reddit, like, Poyok, here's an interview with Poyok that they did, some really good content on the HGC website, I'll link that in chat, was like, oh yeah, I've never heard about this guy, but he seems really cool. Like, he could have been one of our top stars. We just missed the opportunity. So yeah, I'd really like to see that. Just to reiterate.
Yeah, delayed the opportunity. He will be a top star. But you're right, that narrative is that much more meaningful because we kind of have a similar narrative from things like Dorm. You look at, players like Michael Udall, who mostly got discovered through stuff like Dorm, right? He's definitely not the only player, but that was the big breakout for him in a lot of ways. And again, Open Division should be fulfilling that better than Dorm because it's actually tied into the Pro League. It's not a collegiate season. Obviously it's very different. Internationally, Europe doesn't have Dorm. Nexus Games was cool, and we definitely learned some cool stuff about players and the Nexus Games, and there's definitely tie-in there. But yeah, that was a good question. Thank you for the question turnaround. Kai, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. Do you think all heroes should be viable in the pro scene? The answer is no. Like, the end of the day, especially with a game like Heroes of the Storm.
Cho'Gao.
You got so many weird heroes that, once in a blue moon, once out of every 1,000 games, if this hero gets played and it's awesome, yeah, cool, awesome, good. Everyone loves the Cloud9 cheese at BlizzCon. That was great. But should every hero be viable in competitive play? No, I don't think so. I think it's trying too hard and it'll never work. But cool. Well, thanks for the questions this week, guys. Any other ones you guys saw in there you wanted to respond to?
Someone had just asked what we were most looking forward to from the changes that are coming next week, but I think all of our answer would be pretty simple. Camera, probably.
Camera.
Like, camera is going to be a huge quality of life buff.
I'm looking forward to the Clown Fiesta. Is actually my answer.
The secret patch note. Everyone will have no idea what's going on for a while.
Yeah, the hidden patch note. I'm looking forward to that and that race to like try and figure out what's going on, and seeing what ideas people come up with. Seeing if there's, I'm really hoping there's some crazy cheese that becomes meta in Hero League for like 2 days or something. You know, just some cool stories we can have about this whole event.
Here's an interesting thing. Do you think like, so let's say you're playing when the patch hits, you're like playing in Hero League or whatever. You're streaming, so you're playing a lot those days. Are you the kind of person, just curious, who's going to be trying to like tell your team what you think is good during the games, or are you the kind of person who's just going to like sit there and like watch what other people do and like let it go how it goes, you know? Like, are you hands-on with your allies in draft and in game?
If I had voice comms, 100% yes. I would be like on those voice comms, like shot calling people, like guys, like let's pick these heroes, let's get this, like. Really try hard.
You're just too lazy to type, huh?
It's not I'm too lazy. It's like a few different things. I'm super slow at typing, and then if I'm typing, I'm not actually doing anything. Like I get stuck with this all the time actually, where like yeah, I'm typing and then like I've completely lost my read of like what's going on, and I just mess up like directly after I start typing. I do it all the time.
I mean, it's really hard.
I stopped typing, actually.
It's really hard, actually, to even communicate concepts effectively in typing, like in the time frame you have. So many things are so time sensitive. Yeah. Taking even 5 seconds to type it means that what you just typed is not even relevant anymore, like all the time. So I definitely get that perspective. I basically never type. Very, very, very rarely do I type in game now or even in draft.
I was actually talking about it in my stream today about how it can cause issues, and like literally within like a minute or two after I was talking about that, I was typing in game and snap rotation, someone died on my team that I could have saved, you know, in any other case. Like, okay, cool. Like, so yeah, it's tough. Voice chat is one of the few things, however, that I don't think is in the PTR at all. They had
not yet.
Was it in? Does it show it in the tab menu or no? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Maybe it was BlizzCon. At BlizzCon, if you hit tab, it showed like a little thing in the corner, like a little microphone or something. I don't remember exactly what it looked like, but I don't think it was on the PTR, and I don't think we're getting it this coming week. So, oh well. I mean, I'm looking forward to that joining the game. Dunk, to answer your question, it really depends on the mood. If Jake's in a good mood, I'm happy. Like, hey guys, what's up? I open as soon as the draft starts, I greet everyone. I say that I would rather not play melees if possible because I'm bad with them. And Baker, that's actually a true thing. I straight up open the draft and I say, I'm happy to play everything except tank and bruiser, right? That's like straight up what I say at the start of the draft because I'd rather play support. And from there, I will make suggestions based on new patches. If I'm in a good mood. If I'm in a bad mood, no, that chat's not, it doesn't exist. It's not there. Like,
yeah,
I'll literally turn chat off sometimes. But, you know, the Hero League life, I guess. On that note, man, I think that's all there is to discuss this week. Did we miss any news? Are there?
I don't think so.
We did.
It's my birthday.
Well, yeah, happy birthday. Happy new TownHall Heroes Patreon up there. Look at that. Patreon.com/TownHall Heroes. Yeah. And we haven't talked about the PvE brawl. Escape.
It's so good.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed talking about it last week because honestly, it's brilliant. So, if for whatever reason you're listening to this podcast and you haven't been playing the game, shame on you. Play some heroes. There's a PvE brawl they added where it's literally 5 players that need to beat a dungeon. This sparked a really amazing response from the community. I think everybody was just up in arms about how good it was. They were just like, thank you, Blizzard. Thank you for this awesome brawl. It's different. It's not competitive, but it really captures that. Again, I always relate the game to Smash Brothers, the magic of the Blizzard universe in a cool, unique way that only Heroes could do. And on top of that, it then turned into a competition through Reddit of people beating each other's times and posting it. And Tempo Storm went out and they set the fastest time for NA. Smashed. And then Europe smashed them.
They got smashed Korea beat 3 hours.
Yeah.
That was actually so funny. So I wake up that morning, I see Tempo Storm grinding. I'm so happy. I was actually trying to speedrun it with Dunk here, but we couldn't quite get a time like where we were all 3 and like we had the 5-man. So Tempo Storm stole our idea. They start grinding it. I'm like, oh no. And then within 3 hours, some Heroes Lounge have just like smashed their time by 20 seconds. I'm like, yes, like go eat.
And it was like so fun watching the meta evolve. They were streaming this whole process, and they were like, okay, if you pick Artanis and you've got amateur opponent, you can then use the blind AoE to give vision so that Illidan can hunt across the map. And it's like, that's fun. That's cool. They developed speedrun strats which evolved, and people found the perfect comps. I remember the first time and then fast forward a week, they add Heroic Brawl. Which is just a way harder version. I laugh at it. I'm like, heroic, going, we get bodied like 3 or 4 in a row. And I think my 4th or 5th game, somebody drafts Zarya. I'm like, God, Zarya. And then we started playing. I'm like, oh, this is legit, because she's always at max energy and just melting and saving, and she became one of the like Zarya Greymane were like some of the most OP in that brawl. So
yeah, I had a blast playing it.
It was super
fun. I even lost one game on the heroic.
So. I lost every pub I did on the heroic. Every single one I tried to pub, lost.
I did it with viewers.
Oh, okay.
I had dodged a game so I could play with my buddy, and we had to play the heroic brawl because lever penalty, and we lost our first one. It was really funny.
I actually enjoy losing. Like I enjoy that challenge of having to go like, okay, let's drag it back. Let's step up. Like,
I'd like an even harder mode. Like, I would like if every week it just kept getting hard. Like, what if this is just the brawl for the next 6 weeks?
Mythic next week.
Yeah, and it just gets harder every time until nobody wins.
That would be cool though. No, so how happy would you be if that was a permanent mode and they made like 3 or 4 different ones that were always accessible? You could queue up. It gives you a random, say we call them dungeons, right? Just for a generic name. It gives you a random dungeon, Zerg themed, and then they could even go to the extent of making them like hero themed. So Stitch's bathhouse, and like random hooks pull you into traps at like certain triggered points in the map, and you have to learn all these different like locations where hooks come through so that you don't get pulled into a terrible situation. Obviously in heroic it would be that much more punishing. It's definitely akin to what we have for StarCraft arcades, but it has the entire Blizzardverse at its disposal, which, and again, it's built with these mobile mechanics in a really fun way. I would kill for that, man. I really would.
See, I had a lot of fun doing it, but like for me, heroes will always be primarily the ranked mode. So like I would be lying if I told you, yeah, dude, I would play so many of those. I think I would be lying if I told you I'd play so many of those dungeon runs. But I mean, I do enjoy it. I think it's cool.
So let's back up, and I'm not saying that every player like us that already likes the game what it is would grind a lot of that. I think it would be big exposure for Blizzard fans in general, more to log into the game and have the game installed. But also, if I'm losing and if I just lost my 3rd Hero League game in a row and I'm getting a little salty, I'm gonna be like, all right, let me queue up for a couple PvEs to just shake off the salt, have some fun with that, smash some Zerg, and then hop back into Hero League. It's a really good.
Okay. Here's the plan. Okay, Blizzard. It's 1 year's time. StarCraft 2's free-to-play has not gone well. Goodbye, StarCraft. It's all over. Arcade mode ported to Heroes of the Storm.
I mean, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but I do.
I seriously hope it happens, but yeah, probably not. Probably not.
I do think there is a lot. So my understanding is there's a surprising amount of player base that just plays versus AI, right? That's like super casual and
gigantic.
stuff like plays versus AI.
As far as I can
Huh?
tell, it's a gigantic.
In
number.
Heroes of the Storm, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
There's like
it's
a huge versus AI player base.
like 30%.
That player base, I think, would love dungeon modes, especially with scaling difficulties.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely love it. That's my guess. So, I mean, I liked the brawl. I thought it was cool, but for me, it was cute. But I also would never touch versus AI with someone else's keyboard and mouse. Like, so absolutely wouldn't play versus AI. I would play the dungeon mode. So people who would play versus AI would probably love to have dungeon modes consistently available.
I just think it's good content because if you look at all the Blizzard games, the idea of a daily quest, Hearthstone brought it. They kind of brought it to the other games, right? And then brawls came out, were wildly successful in Hearthstone, so they're just like brawls and everything. And Overwatch, they've been pretty successful. I feel Overwatch has a full arcade, mind you, for custom games and all that kind of stuff. But again, it's a different story. And they brought brawls to Hero when initially they showed off arenas. I think the arena idea was really cool. Then they turned it into brawls, and I don't actually love brawls on average. I don't really play. But I don't look forward to them. But I think a PvE mode, on the other hand, would be super successful. I think they could kill brawls and just make the dungeons like the new mode and have that be a thing. Maybe once in a while the dungeon has a brawl, like a special event, like a holiday thing or whatever, to make it more interesting. But recycling like the Blackheart's Bay escort thing to be available once in a while, it's not interesting to me. Once I've done it, I'm done with it, right? That's it. But give me a PvE Blackheart thing where I have to go slay tons of pirates and stuff with a bunch of buddies and just have fun. Hell to the yeah, man, that's cool. So we'll see. But cool, man. Well, I mean, I think that covers this week. Now, my last question for you guys is, are you guys going to play that Team League game and satisfy all the viewers that are anxious to have you guys play Team League together with this hammer medic cheese?
I'm personally not looking forward to a 2-hour queue. I'll leave it up to Dunk. Maybe we can pop in later if he wants to do video games or something. But right now, I also have some work to do. So the possibility is open.
He's not saying no.
Not saying no. Well, I need to do something really quick before we go to our official shoutouts. I am going to just sneak in the Patreon plug again, and to everyone here on Twitch that subscribes to the Arcanate channel, supports the show. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, this has been like 3+ years of producing the show. As you can see, the new evolution of what the production is going to look like moving forward, and basically a look at what our HGC coverage is going to look like here. If you missed the tweet, I'll actually pull it up here of a little bit of the drafting segments we're going to do moving forward. This is not going to be until next year for the drafting stuff, but if you go to twitter.com/townhallheroes, you can look at it yourself. But basically, we want to make this show the ultimate way to stay up to date with HGC and other events like GCWC that happen. And in doing so, I mean, this is definitely just a crappy little GIF that I'm literally loading on Twitter because it's the easiest solution for me. You'll get a look like that where there's the ticker at the bottom, an image of basically the draft that we're talking about, and then we'll be able to look at all the stats from that game and all the talents that exist and kind of talk about meaningful things here and there. This is literally all information that's available on the HGC website, so it's not like we're building out all of this. We're just going to preemptively choose those topics and give you guys basically the best of each week's information. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to evolve the show in that manner. And by supporting us via, a sub here on Twitch or the Patreon, that's the way to do that. And that supports all three of us. Yes, we'll have more guests in the future, and we're just looking to continue expanding, exploring, and evolving the show. And again, just a big thank you to everyone that has helped us get where we are. Lastly, I've been talking about Town Hall shirts for a long time. The reason that the Town Hall shirts aren't back yet is we actually submitted our design to Amazon because you can embed like the shirt sale on Twitch. And they said we don't own our logo. They're like, you need to, basically prove that you own this or blah, blah, blah. They're like, they declined it. I just haven't had time to go through that process and figure that out. But the Town Hall shirts, the Arcane shirts, all those things are coming through an Amazon shop as soon as we can figure that out. And look forward to that in the near future. Final shout out. Happy birthday to you, Bakery.
Oh, thank you.
Dunkus?
I don't know. I don't really have much for shoutouts this week, man. Other than happy birthday, Bakery. It's kind of just a chill week. We're moving into the holiday season, relaxing.
Yeah.
Just
the
chilling.
Festivities. Dunk, you got your first ever apartment. Have you hung Christmas lights in it?
Absolutely not.
My
Christmas
You did have
decorations-
Christmas lights like here. I like those. The bows were a bit too much in my opinion.
Same. I also agree. But yeah, the story behind that is my buddy actually put up those Christmas decorations behind his stream setup. So someone screen capped it, and now I'm using it as my green screen to troll him. But
That's good.
yeah, I have no holiday decorations in my house. I think I have like one little snowman thing that's like plugged into the wall and lights up. And that's it in the whole house. So
That's it. Wow.
Green screen magic. I like it.
Okay. So anyway, shout outs. So shout outs to me. It's my birthday, guys. So yeah, happy birthday, me. Serious shout outs to everyone who did tune into my stream today and have tuned into my stream recently. If you want to find me, it's twitch.tv/bakery, and I'm streaming a fair amount right now. Probably not streaming tomorrow. Probably gotta catch up on a fair amount of work. But in the future, definitely will be streaming more. So follow me there. That's pretty much it.
All right, guys, that does it for episode number 164. We will be back next week, and we're still working hard to lock in the date for our D&D thing. We haven't forgotten about that. But yeah, we got a few more episodes for this year. Per the Town Hall tradition, just a fair warning, the last week of December and the first week of January, we usually don't have a show. So just a heads up on that front, nice and early, because lots of us were just, I've got my brother and one of my best friends going to be home, and they're only home on that week. So I'm just chilling and, enjoying the holiday spirit myself. But GG's everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next time. Welcome here to Town Hall Heroes. This episode of Town Hall Heroes is brought to you by you, the viewers. Thank you so much for supporting us on patreon.com/townhallheroes.